All right, shalom. All right, first and foremost, we have to give all the praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Hashem Brakah Kadash. All right, to say double honors and respect to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us His truth. We'd also like to say much love, peace, and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful light no 1/3, his brother Salah.
Brother Barak.
All right, shalom. All right, and today's topic, man, the Lord is coming as a thief in the night, man. Basically World War III just officially popped off this month, right, in this year's March, and what also came up, man, the planets aligning, and as well as the blood moon, man. So YAHAWASHI, man, he's coming back soon, man. Because at this time, since all these things are popping off around the world, but yet America technically hasn't been touched. Yeah, you might see ICE, deporting the Northern and Southern Kingdom right now, but like nothing major has popped off yet in the U.S., right? You might have a few skirmishes here and there, which is part of the plagues. But ultimately, when the Lord comes, man, it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna hit everyone, and it's gonna affect every single one in a major way, man. That's when we're all gonna be tested, right? So we're gonna open up with the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3, verse 10. And it says here, "But the day of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." That's some ICBM nuclear missiles, man. Yeah, after the chip gets implemented, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up, man. And that's when Babylon the Great, man, is gonna receive that final judgment from the Lord, man. Once everything's said and done.
I have a book precept as well. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:2. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So it's gonna come quickly when you least expect it.
Yeah. So people might think, oh, I might have time. You should have been getting right, now, man. Not putting it off tomorrow, the next day, the next week, because you don't know when YAHAWASHI is going to come back, right? So, Sakyo. All right. So before we play, these videos, we're gonna get the copyright disclaimer. All right. Research tools. Yeah, right here. Disclaimer, copyright disclaimer in section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So the brother Brock is going to play the audio for one of the videos.
Following those American and Israeli strikes in Iran, federal and local law enforcement nationwide are on high alert with two main areas of focus: soft civilian targets here in the U.S. favored by lone wolf attackers or those influenced by terrorist organizations, and the concern of a repeat cyber attack on critical U.S. infrastructure.
I think that we can expect Iran to engage in four types of hacks that they've done before. Number one, go after our banking system. Number two, hack the systems that underpin our oil supply. Number three, our critical infrastructure like water. And finally, mis and disinformation for our elections. They've done all these types of hacks in the past, and I think we can expect more like them in the future.
Jake Braun is a former senior counselor to the Secretary of Homeland Security, now head of the Cyber Policy Initiative at University of Chicago. Braun telling the I-Team one of his first events for the White House was traveling to Pittsburgh after Iranians hacked a water treatment facility in 2023.
Our critical infrastructure is quite vulnerable. They look for outdated systems that haven't been patched, they're weak spots.
We've already seen what Iran's cyber capabilities can accomplish, a country known for its ability to sow chaos with a few strokes on a keyboard. After Operation Midnight Hammer last year, designed to obliterate Iranian nuclear capabilities, Tehran-backed hackers targeted U.S. banks, defense contractors, and oil companies.
They have new AI weapons. So the investment for the secure infrastructure, there's no finish.
Jake Cho is a professor of cybersecurity at Lewis University. He says our deep reliance on network systems for vital industries like telecommunications, water, and power creates efficiency, but
any vulnerability in software or firmware in any type of hardware, of course, it can lead additional vulnerability.
Braun says if they're not, businesses should be on high alert. In Springfield, the I-Team has seen firsthand the statewide Terrorism and Intelligence Center, also known as STIC, 24/7, analyzing threats, claims of bombs, and public...
All right, so you basically heard it right there. So basically, man, Esau's. We know Esau's setting up all these false flag events, man, to ultimately usher in that what the MOTB, man. Notice how they said their digital infrastructure has been, compromised, right? Has been hacked.
I got a precept actually. This book of Psalms. I want to bring this up 1 second. This is the book of So this is the book of Psalm 55 and 21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." Right, and that's speaking about who Esau, right? Because while he's telling people what there's not going to be any war, right? America, we have the best infrastructure, we have the strongest military, right? He's saying these peaceful things, right? But yet war is still in the back of his head. He's thinking about what can we take, what can we steal, right? How many people can we kill, right? And then I don't know if you want me to play those next two clips or after.
Yeah.
Talk here.
Yeah. So this next precept right here is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, right? It says, "Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices," right? So us brothers and few sisters are in the truth, man. We're aware, of Esau, Edom's false flags, right? His stage events, right? Like people in Iran or Russia figure out how to hack like some water filtration system in like Pittsburgh or whatever, man. Like some bullshit like that, right? And you sit there and think about it, like what, like why would they attack like something like some random ass city? Why not? Why not need like a main city hub like DC, like Washington D.C., right, or New York, or like main financial hubs, versus like some random ass.
And the thing is, they can't just. It's gonna take more than just some hacking. They have like sleeper cells, right? Where basically sleeper cells were people that so-called came for, and essentially, in this case, a lot of them came for so-called like financial work reasons, right? But they were actually undercover agents for these countries. They were they're actually secretly part of the other country's military, right? And they're gonna be basically essentially turned on when they for a certain event, right? Probably some sort of black swan event, right? Or these people, right? And they're gonna be part of that chaos, right? So it's not it's gonna be more than just hacking, you know what I'm saying? And it's good. Their whole power. They could think about it, right? Like think about it, right? You can send some sleeper cells in every city, right? Major city to go like to like some sort of power grid, right? Some power facility, right? And and they can just start shutting shit off.
And what's that gonna cause, man? Ultimately, Esau wants to cause sedition amongst the people, right? 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 16, right? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their action shall stand in their power, right? So the fact that they're using their infrastructure, their digital infrastructure, affecting like key things like the water or the electricity, internet and all that. Esau's getting ready to weaponize all this to usher in what, man, that chaos, so we could ultimately crash the system, the economy, right? Because they said they're using the digital database to hack people's banks, and what's that ultimately going to lead to once he collapses all them, that RFID microchip, man, that digital ID, the mark of the beast, right? Everything tied to the digital currency.
It can be pretty quick when this happens. You have something you want to say? It can be quick. Saki, it can be pretty quick, right? When this happens, where some attack happens, some T-word attack, some cyber attack. All of a sudden, they're like, we need a new infrastructure, and this is why everybody needs to take this digital ID, right? And digital implantable microchip. It can happen very quickly. Within what you had from 2019 to March of 2020, right? They basically shut the whole world, created all those mask mandates, then months later they started putting the basically the juice mandates.
And that was all a test run, man, to see if people will comply. And now that they have collected all their data, they're basically ready to go, man. Esau's just dragging his fucking feet because he doesn't want to see his kingdom fall just yet, even though.
And imagine how quick, because they've been waiting for years, man. So when they push out this digital microchip, this MOTB, Mark of the Beast, right, which is the RFID microchip, right? Think about it for a second. They're gonna put incredible amounts of effort to get people chipped. They're gonna put in all their resources, all their power. They're gonna start taking away people's basic necessities, right?
That's right, man. We're gonna play this next video.
So I got first. I got This is
You go back to the copyright disclaimer on the screen.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doc.
But still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for.
Yeah, and of course, you brothers are in this, and you sisters are in the spirit, man, or just people that are in the know, period, man. We all know that the World Economic Forum, man, is working for these elite begging families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, man, in order to usher in what? The MOTB, man.
And what you see in their logo, right? It literally looks like a 666 when you if you look at World Economic Forum logo, right? It literally looks like a 666 when you look at the line that's going in between the O's, right? They do these things on purpose, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau, he loves the number 6, right? Yeah. And
one thing I'd like to add too, right? So remember that the guy Anthony Russo had the conversation with Jacob Rothschild,
Nick Rockefeller.
Yeah, Nick Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Basically, right? The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, their main goal is to get everyone microchip, man. To get everyone to take the RFID microchip. That's their main goal. Ultimately, Esau wants to gain that blessing back. So or gain a pseudo blessing, but we know the Lord's not gonna allow that. And as soon as he does implement it, that's when his ass is going to get destroyed, man. With the nuclear missiles.
Yeah. You got something?
He wants to control you like an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Put a chip in you to where he has you from the inside out.
And they had this guy, Bill Gates. They had everybody liking this guy growing up. You thought this guy was so cool because you thought this dude was like the creator of Xbox, which we know his ass probably stole that shit too, right? But what do these people do, right? Let's see. Bill Gates, he was saying there's gonna be another, P word, right? You fill in the blank, Plan
D emic.
Right. He's saying that, right? And then you having all these other, World Bank leaders, World Economic Forum leaders speaking about that, right? And they have a bunch of other people on there too. They have like certain basically AI war companies, right? Warfare companies like Palantir.
Yeah, and DARPA.
Yeah, where they have all this technology. Basically, they can find out where you live now, through looking at pictures. They can literally first they have thermal cameras and stuff. Just crazy shit. They've been had this stuff, but.
Oh, and another thing I like to add, Doc. I remember watching this video, right? And in this video, they actually have these kids, right? Have these AI plushies or these AI toys, right? That talk to the little kids, and what they do is these AI toys will interact with the little kids and record literally every conversation with their kid, and some of them would even have cameras to scan everything in the house, right? Right, from like the kids to the parents to the animals to the guests, right? And it's all getting stored in the database where people just went, or any Joe Schmo could like open up the database and hack.
There was actually a company, I forgot what the name of it was, but they literally had a dude hack like thousands and thousands of these like tablets, right? These things are so hackable. Frog?
Leapfrog.
Was it leapfrog? I think it was something related. It was something related.
Like something that started with a V.
Yeah. I remember.
And these
Something tech.
VTech.
VTech, I think it was something like that. VTech.
These people were looking at kids through the fucking screen.
Yeah, you had.
Oh, we didn't know about it. Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right.
Yeah, like you have all these, and another thing, they have these sound weapons, and they have a bunch of just crazy shit, but we know that the nuclear missile is going to be used, right? And that's according to biblical prophecy, right? And we're gonna get something out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get something out.
Oven.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the book of 2nd Ezra, as chapter 4, verse 48, and says there, so I stood and saw, behold, a hot burning oven passed before me, and it happened that the flame was gone. I looked, and behold, the smoke still remained. Wait, let me see this. Slack you. Alright, so actually, no, Slacky, that was the one I wanted to bring out. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, Malachi chapter 4, or for starting at verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. The day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord YAHAWASHI of hosts, Sabaoth, meaning his armies, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch, right? And that's talking about America, Babylon the Great, after these, that RFID microchip gets implemented, right? That is the consequence.
I got something immediately go after. This is the book of Matthew 24 and verse 25. 25 no 29, Matthew 24 and verse 29. It says immediately after the tribulation, right? Which is what when that Jacob's trouble, the RFID implementation, right? Of those famines, pestilence, right? After the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, which is speaking about those nuclear missiles, right? And the powers of heaven shall be shaken, right? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, right? And also when you hear, we talk about the sun shall be darkened, the moon not give light, because those, it's speaking about when those nuclear missiles basically cover basically the sky, to such a, basically you won't be able to see anything, man. You know what I'm saying? If you just look up nuclear cloud, basically, try seeing things in a nuclear cloud. Everything's gonna be dark. It's gonna be a dark and very burning and painful death for these proud ass, wicked ass people, man.
Also, the fathership, man, when that arrives, is you're not gonna see everything. It will literally cover both the sun and the moon. You're not gonna be able to see where it begins and where it ends. As well, that's when YAHAWASHI comes.
Imagine just you're going through. There's famine. There's death. Right? These people. Right? You know what I'm saying? And think about it, man. Imagine that. And then years before everything was good. These women were doing OnlyFans, right? Sucking dick for $5,000, right? Doing all this crazy stuff, and a year later. Man, a year later, right? Whatever the time period will be, man. You're starving. You're starving to death, right? And all of a sudden, you just get fucking nuked, and you don't even see anything because it's you know, and you're just, your skin is burned, your destruction is, you can't even see anything, but you're just feeling the burn of those nuclear missiles, right? That's how it's going to be basically for these people, man. Basically that's how it's going to be for these people, because what? Because they're proud, right? You know, they're haughty, you know, especially these 2/3, man.
Saw his children.
Yeah, you didn't hearken onto the words of the prophets, right? You wanted to go worship Cardi B, wanted to go worship, yeah, Glorilla, right? Skrilla, Glorilla,
Sexy bread.
yeah. You wanted to go, you know, these people, man. The thing is, when fucking Waka Flocka or like, you know, what's that dude? Odell Beckham Jr., right? These people come along, they're, can I get a picture with you, right?
Dick ride.
You're just dick. They just people just dick ride them, but you know they see the prophets of the Lord, right? They see the man of the Lord. They see the Bible, right? Oh, what the fuck is that, man? Look, what are these guys doing, man? You know, and that's why, you know.
You should say it though. Lord's not mocked.
I was just gonna say that, yeah. Is it whatever a man sowed, that shall he reap, right? And I'm gonna play this next clip. If you've seen the movie Leave the World Behind, you know that there was a red envelope, right? And the red envelope started flying from the sky with Arabic text, right? This is what it basically means.
I fucking hate people.
Did you know in the movie Leave the World Behind, the flyer in Arabic that said "Death to America" on the front and on the back? We ask you to pay immediate attention to what we say and end this publication. We have the most dangerous and destructive explosives in history, and we leave this horrific fact for you to contemplate and stress the validity of what is said. I'm using this on your land, and steps must be taken to stop the resistance built for the peaceful surrender of your land.
The Lord made these people basically for war, man. You know what I'm saying? And isn't a scripture about Ishmael? He'll be at war with
his hand shall be on his neighbor.
Yeah. Basically, you know, when you think of like Iran, Iraq, like what's the first thing that comes to mind, bro? Because for me, it's basically sand and bombs, bro.
These are
C4s.
Sand niggers.
Yeah, just turbines and military. But the thing is, the Lord YAHAWASHI, he set these people up, right, to play in a part of the destruction of America, right? And as you see in the movie Leave the World Behind, which I believe was Barack Obama who actually had some part in directing in the movie, right?
Here it is, Genesis 16, verse 12 on Ishmael. And he will be a wild man, right? Speaking about Ishmael. And his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren, right?
Yes, yeah. And so Ishmael, he's basically at war all the time, man, right? You know, you always hear about these conflicts, right? You want to say something?
No, I was just gonna say, man, you know, Ishmael, man, Esau's gonna paint him in the light where he's always gonna be in the midst of all this conflict, even though we know it's basically Esau causing all this war and strife, man.
Yeah. So, but as I was saying, you had with Barack Obama, right? He was, I believe, I think he had someone was saying he had part to do with directing the movie Leave the World Behind. Yeah, and you know, the main premise of the movie was, right, about a cyber attack, right, and destruction to America. The movie basically took place in America, right? So you got something you're gonna say? So yeah, you're gonna see what these what you're gonna see. Actually, I got a scripture. Let's see. All right. So this is the book of Matthew 24:6. And say, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. right? Because before all this destruction happens to America, right, what has to be implemented first, according to prophecy, is that implementation of the mark of the beast, right, which is the RFID microchip that's going to be implanted into the skin, right? And then with shortly after that time period, then you're going to start seeing the destruction happen.
That's right. Absolutely. Right. So for you brothers and sisters, right, I seeing all these things transpire, right? Right, we know we're getting very close, right? Yeah, so what we have to do, prepare, right? This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 36. And Salaki, my voice sounds harsh, but it says here, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, right? Right, so man, pray, man, repent, fast, man, when you need to, man, do everything that you need to do, man, in according to the will of YAHAWASHI, that you may be counted worthy for salvation, man, because the elect, they're gonna do everything that they can, and for them to be saved, right?
It says, "Watch ye therefore and pray." Right? You have to watch. Who do you have to watch? You have to. That goes back to also as well as hearken unto the words of the prophets, right? Because Lord said we're basically watchmen, right?
That's right, man. And Jake, man, you also gotta pay attention to the news as well. Yeah. And a part of what the watchmen do is they look at things on the news and then marry them to the scriptures, right? Right, see where they line up, right? and what the apostles and elders have been doing, right? They've been singing that new song, and Brother Barak, you said that new song is events that haven't happened yet, right? So what hasn't happened yet?
Yeah. The old song goes into the prophecies that have already passed, right? Like for example, like the flood, right, in the time of Noah, and then the new song would be like what these prophecies that are coming, which is what would be the implementation of the mark of the beast, right?
Yeah, but a few more things.
And obviously, you have Salakia, but you have the famine of the word.
Yeah, I was gonna say
tribulation, right?
Yeah, tribulation.
Jacob's trouble, because a lot of people believe that Jacob's trouble has already happened, which no, we are entering into those times of Jacob's trouble, right?
Well, yeah, we're already in.
We're basically this is the year, hopeful year, man, right? Because we want things to basically what
to speed up.
Speed up. Yep.
All right, so we're gonna end off with one more precept. Now that you mentioned that. Yeah, right here in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 22, it said that except those days should be shortened, right, and times going by fast. No, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, man. That's why we're seeing time happening real quick, man. So that's why we said in the beginning, man, the Lord's coming as a thief in the night, man. You don't know when he's gonna come, man. And things are happening real fast, man. So your brothers and sisters again, man. Stay circumspect. Stay in your spiritual guard, man. Keep that armor. So with that, man, we're gonna end off this lesson right there. Hope the lesson's been edifying, exhorting to you, sincere Akim Nakwath, and with that, we call Allah, YAHAWAH, baha, sham, YAHAWASHI, baha, sham, Makakadash. Double honors and respect to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who well and taught us his truth. We also like to say much love, peace, and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopefully no 1/3, Mother Salah,
Brother Barak.
With that, we just say Shalom.